Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Alamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is a little bit different. We're mainly going to focus on gratitude, giving gratitude, and how important that is for our ascension and in healing and being more in oneness and attracting the blessings. So basically, what happened today is I ended up being parked in with my car and I was late for traffic court. The neighbor didn't answer the door for quite a while. I got on the phone to try to call the courthouse to postpone, but was on hold forever, like in the waiting loop. Finally, the neighbor answered. I rushed up there as soon as I could. Got there late. They still admitted me into the room, and I was the next case up, and it was done, and everything ran smoothly. But in the meantime, I was stressed. However, very quickly after that, I just let it go, and I released it. And I got feedback from the universe after that I did well, right? Like in the past, I would have been probably stressed and upset much longer. And then I got home this evening, and on my laptop, there are two keys that suddenly won't type anymore. And that's T and Y. So TY, thank you. And I get this weird stuff all the time. I just really hope I don't have to buy a new laptop. But the messages come through in so many different ways and forms. Like sometimes it's truly crazy. But anyway, so thank you, meaning giving gratitude, right? And the guidance I've received over the past few weeks or months even, I think weeks mainly, have really been that the more we are in the vibration and the feeling of gratitude for what we have, and we give thanks for all the blessings, all the things in our lives, the more comes to us, right? So the more abundance we attract, the more gratitude we have. And then what also popped into my head was Wayne Dyer was quoting one of those ancient Chinese wise men, holy men. I want to say Lao Tzu, but it's not that. Anyway, sorry. Especially with names, I never remember names. I'm sorry. Anyway, the point is that basically that in those teachings, it says that we gotta become like the water, right? So some of the comparisons are that we gotta go with the flow and be soft and gentle. But part of what he talked about was also what I feel applies here, and that's how the ocean is and the water level is the lowest point. So all the water from, let's say, melted snow, from creeks and rivers and all that stuff, they all flow down and collect in the lowest point. So if we kind of translate that into like knowledge and wisdom and so on, then the wisest, the ascended masters are the ones who are at the lowest point, right? They would represent the oceans in that sense. So being low, like being humble, helps us be in oneness with all of creation, with the divine, and it also helps us receive more, right? And so humility and gratitude. And there's a song that we used to sing at the Sweat Lodge, and at some point I was guided to pull back from that, at least from the one circle that I was in. But one of the songs that we used to sing there was We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of the Creator. We gotta bend down low. Da, na, 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 lower and lower. Na, 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 na. Sorry, it's been a really long time. I don't remember all the lyrics anymore. But there's another part that of that same song where it's like we gotta lift each other up higher and higher. And that's the same as where it was lower and lower before. It's like we gotta lift each other up higher and higher. So that's where the community comes in, the community of us ascending ones. So as we find each other and come together and form enlightened communities, awake communities where we're all in the ascension process, we can lift each other up, right? So it's exactly that stuff where in regular society, a lot of times people get put down, they get torn down. It's like sort of in that whole survival of the fittest thing, you got to tear your enemies down, right? It's the complete opposite of that. So it's where we work together, there's cooperation, collaboration, support, peace, harmony, all of that, right? So coming together in a not codependent but interdependent way and forming communities where we lift each other up, right? So that's the direction we're going in, and that's what's actually going to help us create the future that we want for this earth, right? So what I put here is, of course, a heart-shaped dish again for the heart space that we're coming more and more into. But then here, and I'm actually going to show this one up close. I picked this on the side of the road a little while ago, and I haven't trimmed off the brown parts yet, but this is pineapple weed, and I'm going to show you a close-up here. Yeah, here we go. So pineapple weed is basically wild chamomile. It's awesome as tea, and you can see how small it is, and it grows like in the little gaps on the side of the road, on the sidewalk, on the side of parks, or even in parks, in city parks. It grows almost everywhere. It's just most people walk past it, walk by it all the time without even knowing or realizing that it's there. So I feel that this is kind of it. It's beautiful medicine, right? Like chamomile. It's calming, healing, yet mainstream society considers it a weed. It's almost kind of in the sense of it's like a nuisance, right? So anyone who maintains a manicured garden would pull it out. Meanwhile, it's actually amazingly healing. Same as some of the other weeds, like dandelion is detoxifying, and so is thistle. And there are some other weeds and stuff that people pull out that have medicinal and healing properties, right? So basically, the more we ascend, the more we're gonna be, well, maybe not all of us, but we're going to be a little bit more like the weeds. People may look at us and not realize the power and strength, the healing power that we have within us. They may just look at it and, oh, wait a minute. I think there's more light. Here we go. They may just look at us as, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. But we have this immense power within us. But not going around boasting, but just staying humble almost helps us in a way, because getting too much attention can also be distracting, right? So I think that's all that's coming through for now. We'll see if anything else comes through, like after I call in the spirit guides. Okay, so, oh, wait, the smudging first. Please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and reconnect us to our own divinity, to the divine energies within us and around us, and reactivate anything that was blocked and that was stopping us from fully reconnecting with our own divinity. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Okay, dear Creator, higher power, source, and soul energy, our higher selves, our higher spirit guides of the light, our ancestors that are in the light, dear Mother Earth, powers of all four directions, powers of the east, powers of the south, powers of the west, powers of the north, powers of all four elements, air, behind the candle, earth, fire, and water, and all other benevolent powers, forces, spirits, and beings of the universe and multiverse that are of the light. Please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. We want to give thanks and gratitude for everything that we have in our lives, all the people that we love, the work that we have, the roof over our head, the support that we get, having enough resources and finances to cover at least the basics, hopefully more, for all the food and for all the guidance, for all the protection. And gratitude for this life, for being alive. Please help us fully be in oneness. Help us simply be and stop striving. Help us reconnect to that purity, to our higher self, to that. Help us reestablish our soul connection, to follow all the passions that guide us to what is nourishment for our soul. So again, as I mentioned in previous ceremonies at some point, following what inspires us, following what makes us feel enthusiastic. So this could be a new hobby, right? So we might want to learn something, or we might want to travel and go to places that excite our soul. And it's interesting that my voice just went funny when I talked about traveling. So I feel there's something that is still being blocked and held back. But in traveling, there are places around the world where our soul is gonna become more activated. It's like places where we had lived in a past lifetime. And thank you. Okay, so that's basically for soul fragment reintegration. So many of us may actually have to travel for some of that. It's going to help to reintegrate certain soul fragments if we are in a place where aspects of our soul shattered off, they split off, they broke off, whatever the situation was. But especially if it was something really dramatic, then some of these soul fragments were left behind, right? So we actually need to go there to reintegrate it, to heal right on location. Thank you. Thank you, spirits. So help us fully and completely come back into our strength that has been tested and trained again and again by knocking us down again and again and again, but we always get up again. It's like they can't keep us down. Yes, thank you. And we give thanks and gratitude for all the lessons, all the tests that the universe, the divine, put in front of us. And in the past, we may have felt burdened or that it's enough. I don't want to keep going through the same thing again and again. But that was an unenlightened perspective. We give thanks for all those lessons and all those tests because that's what's needed to form the diamond, to form the pearls that we're becoming. We're in the process of becoming those. And it's a very good thing. We can retake those tests again and again and again until we get it right. So there's no permanent failure where we don't pass a test and we're out, gone and done. It's not like 3D schooling where you get kicked out of a program. It's not like that. We just have to, like we get, not we have to, we get the chance to try as many times as it takes. So looking at it as practice, practice makes perfect. So the more we practice, the better we get at it. So if some days we're not good at setting boundaries, we're not good at standing up to a bully or something, or someone like that, well, maybe the next day we're going to be fine again, right? So just like a child that's just learning to walk, we're going to tumble and fall a bunch of times. And we got to be patient and kind with ourselves. Thank you, spirits. Okay, so let our inner superhero come out by stepping into our heart space, by healing our heart from all the trauma that is still blocking it, from all the trauma that is an open wound that still lets energy leak out when we get triggered. We're going to pull all that back in. So all the blood and life juice, the proverbial energetic blood, the life force, shall be pulled back. We're pulling it back from all the places where it has gone, and flooding it. It shall be flooded back into ourselves. All the energy that we were leaking out shall be returned to us, and we shall heal from these emotional wounds that still trigger us in certain situations where we feel like we're not good enough, we feel rejected, and so on. We're taking our power back, and we're able to now look at situations in a more neutral way and not take it so personal. All right, let the ceremony now be finished. Please open the circle of protection around us, but keep us strongly safe, shielded, and protected. And accept our love, thanks, gratitude, and blessings. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. All our relations. And so it is. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for being a part of the ceremony, and for being on your own healing and ascension journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And I'm also sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. Bye.